Hi everyone, today we're going to make some quick and easy pies, ricotta, ham, spinach and leek, and I'm going to make two of those today from scratch apart from pastry which are more frozen. They're going to be really nice, good for Lent if you just extract the ham out of it and just use all the other cheeses and veg and you'll be fine. So I've got some leek which I prepared. A whole bunch of baby spinach which I've washed and de-stemmed most of them, the larger stems out of them. I've got some crushed feta going on here. These are the large tomatoes, but what I've done is I've de-seeded them, I've rinsed them out, got the seeds out of them so they're nice and dry. Okay. Some shredded ham from the local deli, 4 beaten eggs, and I've also got some ricotta which I've had sit there straining in the muslin for a while to get all the water out of it. Okay. When you make pies and when you do the filling, moisture is your biggest enemy, okay? So you want to get rid of as much as you can out of everything, and the pies will bind together really nice, and they'll be full of flavour without ruining the pastry on the inside as it's trying to rise, or it's going to bust the bottom of the pie open, okay? These are pretty large pies I'm making, and it'll be quite easy for me when I'm done with them. If you follow this routine, you can just pull the pie out and you can handle it quite easily, okay? It stays nice and firm, alright? So anyway, so I'm going to start. I'm going to saute the leek, and once that's a little bit thinner, now the leek, when you put it in this dish here and you saute the butter, it puts a nutty flavour through the cheese. That's a really nice addition to a pie as an ingredient. Okay, so I might turn the heat up a little bit here, get it going a bit harder, and as that softens up, I'll get ready and I'll throw the spinach in. That'll take 30 seconds to wilt at the most. Okay, so and then what we'll do is we'll extract all the butter out of it. We'll put it in the napkin rolls, and we will try and dry it out as much as we can, so we've got a nice, lean, and healthy pie. Okay. We want to taste the leek in the pie. We don't actually want to feel the texture of the leek in the pie at all. We just want the nuttiness in the cheese. So try and saute this for as long as you can on a bit of a lower heat, so that way you don't brown it off, okay, which will create problems again. Just soften it as much as we can. That's all we're trying to do, alright? God, man, that smells fantastic right there. And it's almost ready to go. So it's going really soft now, it's getting limp, okay? There's a lot there, but it'll be fine. Alright, so we'll drop the spinach in. Okay, that'll do its thing quite quickly. It won't take long for that to saute at all. It'll wilt down to nothing. Just go and get a big stem left in there, which I want to remove. Okay, it's already starting to wilt down pretty hard, okay? So that's going to be pretty much the ingredients for the pie. Okay, so now this is coming down nicely now. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just let that just do its thing. Wilt the spinach. Don't need to cook it, it's going to sit in the oven for about 40 minutes inside a pie casing, so alright. Looking nice and fragrant. Oozing away nicely. You never buy enough baby spinach when you're cooking them well, you it shrinks so much. So you lose a lot of texture in it. Okay. Yeah, this is all about the stem. We'll remove that one. We don't want any crunchy texture, we want the smooth creamy taste of cheese through the whole pie. Okie dokie. Oh, you can see lots of moisture come out of the spinach, which is great. But we have to strain it now to get rid of it completely. Okay, so we're going to run this through here now from the strainer. Might do it over the sink to save a lot of mess. That's done, and we'll set that aside while we're preparing the cheeses for the filling. pretty much a major component of them on there. So we're going to today. Get onto that, flows up everywhere. Great. Okay, great. Cool, just in time. Let's sit there. Just there for now. There we go. Look at all this stuff coming out. We're going to get it all out, okay? Okay, good. So we've got a nice combination there, which is going to flow through the ricotta once it's cooled down. Okay, I'll get it back in the strainer again. Wasn't prepared for this mess, sorry. It's actually been about 2 years since I made a pie, so I'm probably fudging it as I go along, alright, but we'll get there. I've got the oven preheated to maximum temperature. I've got the centre shelf already organised in the oven, so centre shelf. I'm going to use fan force top and low, heat burners, and I'm also going to run it at 300 degrees, whatever this thing goes up to, alright? And then about 5 minutes into the process of the bake-off of the pies, after we've seen the pastry start to puff out a little bit and take form and take a little bit of colour, once we start to see that little bit of golden edge on it, we want to wind the heat back to about 200 and just let it sit and do its own thing in the oven for about 20 odd minutes, okay? You'll know when the pies are done, the pastry has risen as much as it can on the lid, it's starting to look like it's got a crumble on it, it'll be golden, you don't want to go to brown, okay? Egg wash will give you the false sense of it being overcooked. It's just what it does, but it also adds a nice colour to it. I hate eating pale coloured pastry in my pies, okay? So that's why I always egg wash everything I do, alright? Anyway, so that's pretty much the basis of that. While that's cooling down, alright, I'll explain to you before. So what I've done is I've got a muslin here. I filled it up with my ricotta this morning and I twisted it to get as much water out of it as I possibly could. And as you can see, I'm squeezing on that and I'm still getting water out an hour or two later, alright? So I'll just clean that dish out. But now the ricotta's ready to go. You won't get rid of everything. Alright, so this is just a stocking that I actually use for the Christmas ham. This is one that I didn't use over Christmas, so it's done well. And look how good the ricotta's come out. Okay, nice and dry. So our job is now is to aerate it and get it puffy. Alright, so we'll get a fork in there and we'll just pull it all apart. And okay, so let's do that. Okay, so straightforward. We want to aerate the ricotta, we don't want big clumps of it hanging about, adding different textures through the pie. We want the pie to have a nice smooth texture all the way through, okay? So that's going on there, pretty cool. Okay, this is full fat ricotta I bought from the store. I haven't gone into making ricottas or cheeselets yet, Maltese cheeselets yet. I'll have a go one day, but for now, it's just convenient for me to buy from the store bought and ready to go. Shortens my cooking process for the day, and I've got other things to do apart from cook. So, okay, so that's looking good there now. So I've got some nice feta there. I think this is Aussie feta I bought. I bought a large tub of it. So I've started crumbling that down myself. Okay, so that'll go in nicely and add a different component of flavour to the cheese we have in there. Sometimes I'll just find whatever's in the fridge, you know, cheddar or whatever I've got in the fridge laying around. A nice hard cheese which will fold down. Parmesan goes well in this as well. Okay, so you can put a multitude of cheeses in there. Mozzarella I try and avoid because as you're eating into your pie it stretches out and like a pizza does and make a mess of things. It'll pull half your filling out and burn your lips, alright? So here we go. Now, I'll probably end up washing my hands and getting my fingers in there soon because this is really tiring me out. This is a really hefty dish. Alright. Okay, it's all happening. Getting some air through it. Okay, pulling it apart. Once I get the egg in there, it'll smooth it right out. And I can actually see the difference between the ricotta and the feta in there. There's two different colours completely in there. The two whites. I don't know whether you can see that or not. I doubt it. Anyway, that was interesting. I've never noticed that before. Okay, so we've got the base of our pie fillings there. We've got these drained out, which is really good. So another contributor, straight in, plonk. And we will stir that through. and start to make our filling. It's looking great right now. Okay. Some people add peas to it. Look, there's no limits to this pie. Asparagus, whatever you want to chuck in there. But I seem to find the spinach, ham, tomato, that all works well. Just pretend you're eating yourself, what goes well on a toasted sandwich will go well in here, really. Okay. I can switch up the ham for chicken if I like. I've never cooked a fish pie, so I wouldn't even know how to help you in deciding what fish to pick and how to cook it, unfortunately. Alright, so we've got that there. So, pardon me, lenses, but this is, omit this if you want to do the right thing for lamb. Or cooking this outside of lamb, break it back in again. It's as simple as that. Okay. So now we have our main ingredients going on there. Okay. I'm a bit of a protein man, unfortunately, so I've got to have a little bit of a meat fix in everything that I cook. I don't know whether it's a bad thing or a good thing, but I haven't had any health concerns, and my GP blood pressure's all good, so I just keep going for it until the day they tell me to stop doing it or diet hard. Alright, so take advantage of it at my age. We're all getting older. Alright, that's looking like one fantastic filling. Alright. Now, what'll make it even better is once we put the egg wash in there, the egg wash will just bind all the cheese together, the cheeses, the ham, the spinach, the leek, everything in there. Don't go nuts. This is 4 beaten eggs. I'm going to try and save one egg, roughly one egg out of it for the wash itself, okay? So this is going to go into the mix. Okay, that's a fair bit going on there. And now it's going to make this nice and pasty, okay? Pliable and easy to put into the cases, into the pie cases. Okay, so I might switch to the spoon. There we go. Okay, it's looking really good. I'll show you in a minute. Once I've got the egg consistent through the whole prep. Takes it out of your arms, I tell you. Okay. Okay, that's looking really good. Okay, so we've got a really nice smooth texture to it now. Okay, whoops. And everything seems to be mixed quite nicely. Alright. We'll save the seasoning for the top of the pie once the tomatoes laid out on top of the filling, and then just before we put the pastry lid on. So that's all good to go now. So we now have one beautiful filling ready to go. So that should do 2 pies quite easily. If it doesn't, well, make another batch, I guess. Okay. So next step now is to get the pastry cases and get the pastry into the pie tins. Whoops. What have I done here? Okay, so quick process. I've already pre-greased 2 pie cans, and so I won't use those, but for the mould cutouts, straightforward. Okay, shape it up, grab yourself a little knife. Okay, you're going to go for about 3 sheets roughly of pastry, puff pastry, to get this done right. Okay, so we're going to need 2 of these, one for the base and one for the lid. Okay, so that's our non-greased can, so I wouldn't get too dirty trying to do the cutout. Okay, so we've got a greased can here. Now we're going to pop it in the bottom. Okay, part way there. So we're going to make a few of those. Okay, wastage. It's always the same with puff pastry, unfortunately. Maximise your sheet. As I said before, I don't know whether I mentioned it or not, or repeat it again. 20 centimetre pie cans, only 5 centimetres deep, which is ample for these pies. It's going to give you, this will feed 4 people, 2 pies will feed 4 people easily. You know, if you want to match it with a salad beside it, well, they're even better again. Alright. I used to make a lot of these pies. These are great for gifts for people who are too busy in their day, and if you want to help out another family, make a couple of these and tell them to pick them up on the way home from work, and they've got the family, meal set for the kids. I help my sister out occasionally. She's a very busy lady. She's a career-orientated woman, and she has a family to feed, and sometimes runs out of time, you know. It just happens, I guess. So every now and then I'll make something for her. A pie's a good way to go. They appreciate my pies. I can make torta pies like the proper Maltese style. It pretty much is, but I just keep adding ingredients because that's just me. I love twisting in everything I do. Okay, so alright, so we've got 2 bases in there. Still a ways to go. We've still got to do the sides and the lids. Alright, so the sides are quite easy. This pastry is just giving me some grief right now. I had it all set out nicely, but no love right now. Okay, so what I'll do here, I think this piece is just going to fail before I start because it's got no backing on it. There we go. So now we're going to cut the sides in for the pie can. We're up, get the knife in. So we're going to put 3 sides in, so 1. Okay, that's for 1 pie, and then I'll wrap around. Don't worry about shapes being incorrect because you'll be able to mould them in and out of the pie. Okay, that's 1 section. Now if you want these pies to work out really good, you're really going to press the pastry into the pie can. Okay, and so I'll do that shortly. But these are almost ready to fill out. Okay, so I've got the basic sizing I need in there for the pie cans. And just before I fill them out, actually I'll do one. Okay, so get in the bottom, and wherever you've got your overlaps, push it all down. Okay, so wherever it's overlapped, push it all in. Okay, get into the corners. You don't want any air bubbles between the pastry and the pie can. Okay, it'll affect the way that the pie turns out, and it's either going to weigh up whether the pie collapses or whether it stays together when you turn it out of the can. Okay, so all right, here we go. So I'm doing all this. Get it in there, go hard, go for broke. You're not going to hurt no one or nothing. There we go, starting to fold in nicely now. And once we get around to the outside edge, leave it dangling over there because we're going to use that outside edge and press it into the fork once the lid's on. Alright, so what I'll do there is get the filling going on. Get it into the pie. Okay. It's always it's always hard trying to gauge exactly how much pie filling I'm going to make. So what I try and do is I try and fill 2 pies up at the same time so they're consistently the same height. You don't want one tall pie and one short pie. It just looks a bit average when you put them on the table to eat. All right. So you got to get right into the corners, put the filling right out to the edge. Okay, and that looks really good. And I could probably do a little bit more. Okay, even it out. You can see how easy it is to manage. Okay, so the pastry come up there. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll put my few more little globs of ham in there. Won't hurt anybody today. Tomato. Tomato goes on the top. Okay, comes in nice. So just get it in there, we'll just lay it through. It's nice and dry, as I said. I've patted this dry, washed all the seeds out of it, so no excess moisture. Okay, that's going to make one nice pie. Bit of cracked pepper over the top. Okay, we'll just hold that there for the moment and I'll make a lid. And then we'll do the final process before it goes in the oven. Life going on. Okey-dokey. So let's get this onto our pie. Alright, so we're going to get this down to tomato level, so we're going to feed it down. And trim off the top. As we go. Might do this a second time, see how we go for height. Okay, I'll go a little bit gentle now because we don't want to bust the pastry open and then have the filling come out of it. All right, so a little bit more gentle, and we'll press it all together around the rim. It's coming out really good, and we'll just try and get it over the ridge of the pan itself, the pie can itself. Okay, so that's looking pretty good, and we'll try and seal the deal with a fork. Okay. That way the two lids are sealed together, and it's not going to open up on the edge when it's heating up and trying to let the steam out of it. So it's sealed in completely. And this will rise pretty nicely, by the way, so it looks shallow now, but everything's going well. All methods and plans happening and planets aligned. These will go on really good, okay? So here we go. Alright, that's one ready to go, so we're going to put an air hole in the middle. Okay. Have a bit of fun, put your Maltese crosses on there or whatever it is that you like doing. But that's one pie ready to go into the oven. Okay, so not very hard at all. This is the essence of how you make tortilla as well. I mean, I use different ingredients and whatever. If you want the bully beef ones or whatever, use your big rectangle pie cans or your baking dishes. Okay, all right. So that's ready to go in. I'll continue on making the other one, and I'll show you on the outside again when they're out of the oven and they're ready to go. I'll pop them out of the can and I'll show you a photo. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed. So that's going to be the feta, ricotta, ham, tomato and leek pies. Okay, thank you.